Welcome, nature detectives. I'm Conrad Baker. I'm an outdoor educator with the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation at Letchworth State Park, and today I have a nature mystery for you. Hiding here in the woods next to a hidden secret pond. I can hear some animal noises coming from that pond. They sound like bow, bow, bow. I think we can use our nature tools to figure out what kinds of animals are making those noises and how they help us every single day. We're going to use only one nature tool today. That's our ears. So let's take a listen, just a moment. Hear those calls? The first thing that jumps out at me about these calls is how short they are. They start and end really quickly. They don't go on and bubble like a bird. They just start and end real quick. Really, really short. That's kind of unusual. That stuck right out at me right away. The second nature clue that we might notice right away is how deep they are. These animals, to me, sound like they might be pretty big because their voices aren't super duper high-pitched like a bird or even a squirrel or a chipmunk or a red squirrel. Sometimes they make noises in the woods that are super duper high-pitched and they can really catch our ears easily. The third nature clue that jumps out at me about these animal calls is that they kind of remind me of something that I've heard before. It sounds like a banjo. Someone playing a banjo very badly. Now, I don't play the banjo, so I would probably play it something like this. Go, bow, bow, bow. Kind of, it's a very short call. It kind of vibrates a little bit. It has a little bit of resonance. It hangs in the air just for a second. Bow. Let's put all our nature clues together. This is an animal call. It sounds kind of like someone trying to play the banjo badly. It sounds like it's kind of a deeper voice than a lot of other animals that we might hear in the woods. And it only lasts for just a second. Just a really short little call. All those nature clues point to the green frog. These are the calls of an adult green frog. Now, green frogs, when they're adults, hopping around and maybe even climbing up on lily pads and looking up at us, they're doing a really important service for us by eating lots of mosquitoes so that they don't come and bite us and maybe even make us sick. But even when green frogs are just hatching out of their eggs, when they're born as tadpoles, they're doing a really important service. Green frog tadpoles, when they're very young, eat a lot of plants. They eat more insects as they grow, but when they start out eating a lot of plants, algae and little slimy seaweed-looking plants in the ponds, and especially in moving water, those plants can grow really quickly and take over and slow down the current of the water. Or even in a pond, they might take over the whole surface and cover all the water so it's a big, yucky, slimy mat of water plants. Green frog tadpoles help to chew away those plants and open up the water and let it to flow and move, or in ponds, to be opened up to the sun and let other kinds of plants grow underneath towards the bottom. Green frog tadpoles especially are like the pond's deer and rabbits, trimming all those little plants and opening up more space for more kinds of plants to grow. Now, if you really want to put your nature detective skills to the test, try to find some green frogs in your neighborhood. You don't have to find a pond in the woods like this. It could be even in a roadside ditch, or in even a big puddle, or a pond, a human-made pond in a local park. You can hear these really short, deep, banjo-like calls. These are the adult green frogs calling. And then if you look really closely in that water, being careful not to get really, really close and getting muddy or a place where you might slip in, you might see some green frog tadpoles. They'll be great big like this. It looks almost like a small ping pong ball turned green and grew a tail and swimming through. Thank you so much for joining me for today's nature mystery. If you have any questions about green frogs or other kinds of frogs that are native to New York State, please pop a comment in the comment section below the video. Share this video with your friends to put their nature detective skills to the test. And as always, like Letchworth State Park's Facebook page to stay tuned for more nature mysteries.